Okay, so this is something that I very, very rarely do, but I'm going to do a video because I think this is a problem that a lot of people come up against. And there was a discussion in the group about trading gurus and the fact that the internet, YouTube, is swamped with self-help, self-promotion type YouTube videos where the goal or the intent of the video is to turn you into this profitable trader, and here are the 5 actionable steps to achieve that. And it's the same old thing over and over. It'll be manage your risk, don't overtrade, let your winners run, cut your losses short. Now that's great as a principle, but as a new trader, a trader that's struggling, just trying to find their feet, these concepts are abstract. They're meaningless. The truth is that the concept of, for example, letting your winners run varies with strategy and individual application of that strategy. Most new traders, they struggle with an edge. So understanding what that in practice means is almost impossible. It doesn't mean, for example, once you've set a trade, just let it go. How do you close it? You have to close a trade at some time. Practically, what do these things mean? And it becomes a vicious circle. You know, you watch these videos where these YouTubers promote all these concepts, and it just confuses you, and you think, I'm not doing it right. I'm letting my winners run. I'm cutting my, I'm using a stop loss. I'm trying not to overtrade. But because you don't understand practically, really deeply practically what that means, it just leads to frustration because, you try not to, you take less trades, but you're not a good trader yet. So, you might take one trade and then because it's not a good trade, because you get in too early, you see your second potential trade, which you haven't taken because you're not overtrading, you'll see it going to your take profit. You'll let a trade run and it'll reverse. And you don't understand why it's reversed. You say, well, it came back to my stop. I let it run. Why am I not a winning trader? I'm letting my trades run. Without understanding that you're letting trades run in ranging conditions, or you're letting trades run against a trend, or maybe there's some other element of the technicalities that because you're not a good trader yet, you don't understand, you can't put it in context. So I think that one of the, that's really missing. Practical application of some of these very abstract concepts. And I'll give you an example. So I was talking to the group earlier about overtrading. So I had a massive problem. I still have a massive problem. And I probably will continue to have a massive problem of overtrading. As a professional trader, I want to trade within a certain block of the day. I've identified that forex pairs during London tend to trend and are most volatile, and therefore give the best trading opportunities. Index, especially US index pairs or indices during the US Open are the same. That is the best time to trade them. Everybody knows this. It's not a new thing. Forex pairs are volatile during the London session. Stock indices are volatile during the US session. Yet, I'll see a forex pair being set up, which technically looks valid, occur at lunchtime or in the afternoon, or I'll see an index pair occur, just before lunch or maybe in the evening. And from a technical perspective, it looks great, but it's not a high probability point of the day. Now, I'm not going to go into technical reasons behind that, other than say because I tend to bring my stops up quite quickly, I need volatility. So when I enter, I want price to push away from my entry point so I can get to break even soon. So although the pattern might be valid, because there's not that volatility, the wicks tend to be a little bit bigger. I tend to get stopped out if I'm not trading within those time frames. Yet I still find myself trading outside of my optimum times. And looking ahead in the future, when I'm trading full time, I only want to be trading during certain times of the day. I want to be the type of trader who recognizes that trades happen all the time and they've got to wash over me like waves. You know, I don't want to be a Pokemon trader. I'm not trying to catch them all. I'm trying to catch only the best Pokemon, the most powerful Pokemon during the sessions that I know are most profitable and most likely to give me the best possible trade. So here's a practical example of what I've done to try and reduce my overtrading. So as I've said, I have an overtrading problem. I trade outside of sessions, and sometimes I'll end up scalping as well. So what I've done, and I did speak to the group about this, I bought off Amazon a little book. Now, if I find myself, and I carry this around in my pocket all the time, it has a little, I've lost it now, but it has a little, it has a little pen that comes with it that just slides in here. And if I find myself trading outside of, or wanting to trade, having thoughts about wanting to trade outside of a session, and I know where my triggers are, I'll start looking at the chart. So if I open a chart, or open my phone and open up MT5, and I'm starting to think, oh, what's price doing? I know that will lead me down the path, eventually, in all likelihood, of taking a trade. Because I'll find something that technically looks like a good trade. But it's outside of my sessions. And I know and I believe that trading outside of my sessions gives me a much lower probability of getting a good trade. So I start looking at the charts, or I start thinking, oh, I remember in the morning session that I was waiting for a setup, and that setup didn't happen. And I didn't lose money, but I didn't get a trade. I wonder if that setup's happening now, because it was pretty close at the end of the morning session. So I'll reach for my little book, and I'll open it up, and I'll write in the date, the time, and then exactly what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it. So in this case, this is the first one. 10:45 on the 2nd of July. Working. Thinking about a setup that I was looking at on EU earlier that might be playing out now. Outside of session, tempted to open charts to see. Now, that very act of writing that down in my little blue book, for me, is enough to break that trigger. It's enough to snap me out of it, bring me back into consciousness, into rational thinking, and remind myself of the reasons why I'm trading inside those sessions. I did one today, 8th of July. Working away, my session finishes at 9 o'clock. 11:30, I found myself looking at the opening trading view on a laptop I have next to my work PC. 11:30, I've written, good trade this morning, but probably a bit less than I wanted, because I saw unrealized profits, and that led me to watching the charts. I saw my price action come back to the original idea that I saw this morning, and I was thinking about going in and placing a trade. But it's not a high probability time. This isn't what I want to be doing full time, and my EU trade is done for the day. Yes, it might play out. Looks very clean, but I'm not interested in taking every trade in the world. Trades are not Pokemon. And that's it. I have recognised that I had started down the route of tilt, and I've taken an actionable step to psychologically break that link and stop that spiral, which will take me down the route of taking trades outside of the session. So when we say, there's lots of these YouTubers who provide this top level psychological guidance, I think that is the type of thing, these actionable, practical steps, which I think are missing. And that's an example. So it works for me, it might work for you, might be a load of rubbish. But anyway, I thought it was better to do a little video on this rather than write my usual lengthy post. So have a great day, guys. The sun's out, and happy trading and all that.